Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Today, I'm joined by actress Allison Dunbar. Allison, welcome.
Thanks. You screwed that up. You know, it's actually Dunbar.
Oh my gosh, that would be just my luck.
Got it. Hi. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's so great to see you. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. So I think probably the first thing I saw you, and this is going to be crazy, but did you do a Diagnosis Murder episode at some point?
Yeah.
And like the Dick Van Dyke Show. He was.
I did.
You were probably, I don't know, you were probably like 14 or something on that.
Well, not really, but yeah, that was when I first moved out to LA, and yeah, I actually remember that because now I'm ashamed, but when you're young and you're just like dumb, and my mom was like, "You're working with Dick Van Dyke," and I was like, "Yeah, who's that?" Like I had no clue. And you're just young. Like I was like, I'm coming to Hollywood to be an actress.
That's
like,
right.
So yes, I did. And now I know afterward I realized what a big deal that was I know
it always works that way, but yeah. I mean, what an opportunity.
It's also better though, in a way, to be honest, like I think, because I'm trying to get better with it now, especially during quarantine. I've been watching tons of movies. Like I'm more educated on film than I ever have been.
That's a good thing.
I was telling a friend of mine that in a way, sometimes my ignorance, I think, worked for me. Like, for instance, back over 10 years ago when I got cast on The Sopranos, I hadn't watched it. I honestly kind of just bullshitted my way to my audition because I was like, who's going to pick? They won't pick me. It's like a mafia wife. I was picturing that she would have to look really Italian, right? So I just thought, this is a joke. And I wound up getting it. And
you were great on that, by the way.
Well, thank you. But right before I went to shoot, I was like, I better double down and watch this show. So I binged several seasons. And this is what I'm saying, why that can work against you. Because once I watched the show, it's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
And everyone was so talented that I was nervous when I was on set, and because you're like, oh my God, these people are so sometimes it's better to be like just blissfully ignorant. Like, what is this show? Sopranos was about singers. Here we go. It helps you stay more relaxed, to be completely oblivious at all times.
Now, see, you played a character, that was a name I would have screwed up if I had to introduce.
What, Nicole Lupatazzi?
Yeah, Lupatazzi, yes.
Lupatazzi.
Yeah. See, I'd have messed up.
I actually just reunited with Ray Abruzzo, who played my husband.
Oh, yeah.
We have friends in common, so we just kind of found each other. Again, quarantine. These are the nice things about quarantine, right? We spend more time on Instagram, and we just recently reconnected.
That's
so
awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah, quarantine has been very good for our podcasting because everybody is home. So
we're all listening.
We're all listening, and everybody's available. So it's been very good.
Yeah.
I would take, I would gladly take all of us being allowed out and everything going back to normal, but I will say it's been pretty good.
I don't know. You know what? I would say that, it's been rough, although I can't even say it's been rough because there's a lot, I'm lucky,
Right.
So I'm always trying to keep my eye on what has been awesome about this. And I feel like my friendships have deepened in a really cool way because, you know, all we have is time to connect.
Right.
And even though it is on Zooms, it's like the Groundlings Theater that I belong to, all the women were all we do a Zoom twice a week just to kind of stay sane and see human faces. And
I was going to ask you if you did those, had the like my wife does a lot of the wine happy hour type of Zoom meetings.
Oh yeah, we're doing wine, we're doing margaritas. Yeah, we do happy hour. That's exactly what we do. And that's great. Also, something else that I think is beyond awesome. And I'm sure you're aware of this, but animal shelters have been cleared out.
Yes. Isn't that great?
It's so great. I mean, and I was hearing about that. I saw some evidence and I was cheering about it. And then just recently I decided I'm a big dog rescuer. And I thought we felt that we were ready to maybe bring in another dog. We lost one of the all-time greats, Ernie, about 6 months ago. So, you know, it takes some time to kind of, you know, go, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's tough.
You know, so I went online and I went on this website called petharbor.com, which is this really, I don't know if it's all over the country, but in California, it's like a database. So I can go in, I can search all of the shelters in California. They're like, what kind of dog? I go, lab mix, male or female, male, what age, anything over 2. Right. And it's like a dating site. It sends you all of the dogs that fit that description. And the last time I rescued from the shelters, you know, it was probably 18 pages of dog profiles. And I found the dog that I connected with the most and went and got him. Came back, sorry, there are no results for this search.
What?
No lab
That's good though. That's good.
It's so good. I was crying. I was so happy. And so now I'm there's a rescue group called Joey and Bailey that I found, and I'm actually rescuing a dog from Korea.
Wow.
He'll be here in a few weeks from, you know, they do have like the meat festivals. I won't go into it.
Yeah.
But you know, some radically horrible things that happen to dogs over there. So
I'm
rescuing a dog from Korea.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, good for you. That's great. It's so difficult. They become such a part of your life or life, and you end up it's crushing when we lost R2 a couple of years ago. We had an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they died within a few weeks of each other. And it was rough. It takes you a while to recover from that, but you get so much from them, you know, while they're here. It definitely works. Someone
said to me, the pain is the price of all that joy.
I like that.
And I thought that's a great way to look at it, you know, like a price I would pay every time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's so great. I had heard that the shelters were empty, and we're running into that here. We don't have a database, but the local shelters, they've run stories in the paper that they're empty.
I mean, come on, animals are so good.
Yeah.
Like if they're benefiting like this, oh my God, I'll keep sitting inside. Great.
Yeah, that's a definite positive. Positive. So I'm flipping through Hulu. This is, I don't know, six months ago, maybe right around the beginning of I'm flipping through Hulu, and I come across this show called Quick Draw, and I thought it was new. I thought it was a new show. I'm watching it, and I'm like, it's hilarious. And I was like, I have to get some of that cast on my podcast. So I sent John Lear a note, and he replied right away.
Yeah, I heard him. I actually heard him on your podcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
He was so great.
John's awesome.
Well, yeah, so since then, we've, you know, he does a podcast. So we've done a combined podcast together since then, his and ours. And
that's so dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was him and his podcasting partner and me and my son, and we just had a blast. He is the funniest guy. And I told him, I sent him a note, and I said, I've got Allison coming on, and he was so happy for us. He was thrilled.
John, and I'm sure you've heard all about it, that John and his partner Nancy created that series.
Yeah.
And, John was the star, and he was so funny. And I'm sure he was telling you about how the show was improvised.
Yeah, that's what he said. I couldn't believe that.
So, John as, creator, whatever, he kind of knew like the goals were for the day, right? Like he and Nancy would discuss.
Yeah.
But we as the cast, we knew nothing. So you would come to work, no clue what you're doing for the day. You get in the makeup trailer, no idea. Like usually you're in the makeup trailer, you're looking over your sides, you're working on your lines for that day. They wouldn't tell you anything until you got set to shoot. Yeah. And then they would just kind of go, well, and they were ruthless about it. Like you might get like, well, in this scene, you're going to kind of hit on John and try and get him involved with, a gambling circle, whatever. They'd give you like this broad dream for the scene, and then they just roll tape.
Yeah.
And you just improvise your way through it. That's
amazing.
It was one of the most fun jobs I've ever done. It was such a treat. Like, God, we were so lucky. I just wish we could have done that show for many more years.
It was so good. I was so surprised that when it ended, I didn't realize it only went 2 seasons. And so the second season ended, and I just assumed the third season would start. I was like, where'd it go?
We all did.
So good. Yeah, so good. I was a big fan of, I'm a big Star Trek fan. So Nancy had done a couple episodes of Star Trek. So I knew her from that. So I was a big fan of hers from that. And, I saw that she was writing with John, and I was like, wow, and then I discovered that there was another show, 10 Items or Less, that they had done previously. Yes. And you got to appear on that one as well. And that's how was good.
Yeah, that's actually how I met John and Nancy. I just guest starred on that show, like, God, I don't know. I have no idea when the hell that was. That was so long ago. Yeah. 2005? I don't know.
Yeah, something like, it was like a TBS show or something.
It was a long time ago. And that was all improvised. And I had such a fun time with them. And then, a year later, they called me and said, will you come in and audition for this Western we're doing?
What's that like? Because, a lot of the people from 10 Items or Less showed up on Quick Draw, and I thought that was really neat that they've obviously made relationships with certain actors and brought them in. That has to be kind of a nice feeling.
It's so great. John and Nancy, they were very much like, well, I remember, am I allowed to use profanity?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I remember I remember them telling me just very soon into Quick Draw that they just had a no assholes policy on their show. It's like because I was saying how much fun it was.
Yeah.
How much I loved coming to work every day. And they're like, well, we don't deal with assholes. We decided that when we first started working together. Every person on the crew is going to be cool. Every actor we use is going to be cool, or they won't be here. So they had this whole camp vibe. And they met people and loved them, and they kept bringing them back in, which is something that you see like in our business from time to time. Like, Judd Apatow has like his crew of people that he uses again and again. And it sure is nice to have been a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the cast was terrific, but I love the fact that John's character was such an idiot, but he had like this superpower where he was a really good shot, which would get him out of trouble a lot of times. He'd screw something up and then he'd shoot his way out of it. And I thought that was kind of amusing. Yeah.
He was just so funny and such a delightful dope.
Yeah. Well, and you were really funny in it. That was really, if you were improvising, you did a great job with that.
Well, thank you. It was kind of, I think we just kind of worked on our natural dynamic, the two of us.
Yeah.
John is so lovable.
Yeah, you had some chemistry. It worked.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, God, I loved it. It was such a blast. Yeah. And Kate Frisbee, who played Wanda.
Oh my gosh.
She's friend of mine from the Groundlings Theater. She actually was the first person to mention. She texted me, "Do you know that John and Nancy are starting a new show?" And I was like, "I gotta try and get in there." And yeah, she was so funny on the show, right?
Hilarious. Yeah, hilarious. Did your work with the Groundlings, did that help you with a show where you have to improvise?
Well, fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's all we do at the Groundlings.
Yeah.
It's all improvisation. So that was my whole training ground where, for me to get the audition for Quick and to be told, it's going to be all improv. So they'll let you know like what the scenarios are when you get there. Now you have to understand that for 99% of actors in Hollywood, hearing that is like pretty much their worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But for me, because of coming from the Groundlings, to me, I go, oh, yeah, like this is where I can let it rip. Like that's my strength. I'm better at that. So,
yeah, I see. I get that, and I get why most actors would hate that. Like I'm not an actor, but if I was, I would have to memorize the script. I could not ad lib it. I would just blow it.
Well, improv is that really fun thing where like what reason people get, like people say, "Oh, I can't improvise." Yes, you can. Of course you can. The thing is, the terror that sets in is like, I'm afraid I'm going to say something stupid.
Right.
And once you get to that sweet spot in your life where you're like, yeah, I'm going to say something stupid, and you don't care.
Right.
And you're like, I'm going to say something stupid, and then I'm going to justify it. And I know John, my scene partner, is going to help me justify it, and we'll dig our way out together. Once you're cool with that, that's like where all the best stuff comes in.
That's all. And I'm sure you have to have a cast that you're comfortable with to do that. Otherwise, you just feel like a dumbass when you're saying dumb stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a harmony to it. You just have to know how to be really present.
Yeah.
Really listen to someone else. You can't plan what you want to say. You can't try and bulldoze someone over. Like, hey, this is so much for your storyline. I think you can't do that. You have to just stay really in the moment, listen to whatever they say, and whatever they say, make it correct and make it important.
See, I like that. And I'm sure if you say something, you say, I'm going to say this. You have to be prepared that it may go in a direction that you had no idea. That's not the direction you were intending it to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it, like the mystery.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's do a little improv. Let's do a little improv right now.
All right, let's do it.
So tell me a place where we work.
Where we work?
Yeah,
Library.
where do we work?
Library.
We work at a library.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Bobby. Look, and I'm sorry to bother you when you're trying to alphabetize the books.
Really busy too.
I know you're busy, Bobby. I can see that you're busy. I see you stacking them books. But here's the thing. I don't really understand the Dewey Decimal System.
Well, Dewey Decimal is what everything is based on. I mean, you can't just arrange it by color. You have to have something to, how else are you going to arrange the books?
I was going to arrange them by color.
Did you do that? When you worked the other day, did you arrange that whole J section by color? I've been spending...
I did. I arranged...
Oh, my gosh.
Well, here's the thing. I thought, doesn't this make a real nice rainbow? And isn't this a great time in our country to have a rainbow medley of books, Bobby? Don't you think it's time to get outside ourselves?
It is kind of a good time by that.
Yes.
Have I been doing this wrong this whole time?
Did you hear what I just said to you?
What?
I love...
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Wasn't that fun?
Oh my
People
God.
listening to this are like, what the fuck
What
is
is
happening with these people?
Well, what they're saying is that Too Opinionated guy cannot act.
No, they're like, he's right on.
Let me,
Belongs in a library.
So I picked a library because that my son's a librarian, so he'll appreciate.
Your
that
son's a librarian?
He is. Yeah.
What
so
do you
he's,
mean?
Well, so he's in film school in college, but he's worked at the library for.
Wait a second. I'm
years.
sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Because this is when I was so confused. You look like a child. You have a kid in college? You look like a child. Do you have a ring light?
Yeah, I do have a ring light. How'd you know?
It works really well. You honestly look like I was thinking you were like in college. So that's why I was so confused. When you said my son's a librarian, I pictured your son was like 3, and I was like, what do you mean? He's okay. All right. You have an adult child.
Yeah. Now listen, don't be shocked, but and you're sweet for saying that, and I'm amazed. You're probably the first person that's ever said I look young, but so I've got 3 grandchildren.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So my oldest is 26, and she has a 9-month-old daughter, and then we've got a 15-month and a 5-month-old. We had 3 of them within like a year, grandchildren. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Okay.
Yeah. So our youngest is 19. 19 will be our youngest.
You're an adult.
Yeah, I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah. I literally thought you were like around college age. Listen,
you have captured my essence, though.
I'm extremely drunk. Okay.
Shoot.
Now, okay, so you have kids who are grown up. So okay, now I understand how you have a child who's a librarian.
Now, that's right. So he's a librarian. Okay. He's the only one of the 4 that hasn't, reproduced yet. So, and he asked me because all the rest of them, got pregnant around the same time, and he came to me. He's like, "Dad, am I doing something wrong?" Because he was the at that time he was a single guy. So he's the fun uncle now.
That a funkle.
A funkle. He likes to call himself a hunkle, which is like a regular uncle but hunkier, is what he says.
I like that. I like hunkle.
I like that.
And now, and he's in a relationship now. He's
dating a very nice nursing student. She's been very good for him.
So do you think he'll wind up having children?
Well, I hope he waits.
Yeah.
I hope he waits and gets done with college. But I mean, that's all parents always hope. It always works out, though.
Yeah.
It works out. But yeah, preferably they wait until they're settled and can support themselves, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've made my day. Yeah, that's awesome.
I still can't get over it. Do you get Botox? How do you look so young?
What are you talking about? I'm an old man.
Your ring light is, you look like a kid. I don't get it.
Oh no, God bless that ring light.
Yeah. You got a ring light, man. It's treating you well. Well, maybe it's also like a wall of cartoon characters behind you.
That's why I said you've captured my essence. Yeah. I'm surrounded by, this is me. That's the inner Mike. Well, so I won't bore you with my story, but I was a comic book owner in the 90s, and Marvel went bankrupt, and I was like, well, it's over. So I closed the stores, and I've always missed it. So Facebook came along, and I started up a little Facebook page, just a little, pop culture geek page, and it's done wonderful. And then my son said, do you want to do a podcast? Because he couldn't get any of his friends to do it. I was like, sure. And then we did that, and then it turned into this big thing, and here we are. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it just started as a way to recapture my, college comic book days.
Where did you go to school?
Marshall University. I know you've heard of it. in West Virginia. It's in Huntington, West Virginia. I know you've heard of it because the movie We Are Marshall.
Yeah.
That was us. Yeah, that was us.
Gotcha. Cool.
So I went there. Now, I've always been a Mountaineer fan, WVU, but I went to, you can like both. That's our two state universities, West Virginia University and Marshall.
Okay. Well, for a brief time, I lived in Salem, Massachusetts, and I worked at an animal shelter in Beverly, and we used to come down and get dogs from West Virginia. So I've been down a few times. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, then it's beautiful here.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Did you come? Let's see, Salem, Massachusetts. Were you up north? What do you remember? Any of the cities you were in?
No, because we would cut like the animal shelter. We had like someone would volunteer to drive. We had a van, and we were coming down to get like 20 dogs. So we'd all be monitoring one crate, and it was like insane operations. I didn't have a ton of time.
Did you have to ride the turnpike?
Yeah.
That's not familiar. Okay. Well, yeah, you probably came down my way then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm an East Coast girl originally. I'm from upstate New York originally.
Well, that's probably how you got the Sopranos gig.
Yeah, well, no, at that time that's when I was living actually in Salem up in Boston, and I drove down for that audition. Yeah. I
think I can maybe just a hint, maybe you've got a little hint of that I can detect, but nowhere near the accent like I've got. You don't have a very strong accent, but maybe a hint.
I try to.
Yeah, I know you've probably intentionally tried to
well, I grew up in Delaware, and I don't know if you know anyone from Delaware. The accent's awful, and it's kind of like Baltimore, like, hey, how you doing there? Want to like a cup of water? It's disgusting. So I've worked very hard to try and get rid of it.
Well, yeah, you've done a good job then. That's because accents are tough. They're tough to get rid of.
Yeah.
Not that I've tried, but I hear it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're involved in this scripted audio podcast called The Last Saturday Night that our podcast is lucky enough to be helping produce, and we're going to air it on Too Opinionated. We're extremely excited about it.
Cool.
It's written by our good friend Jennifer Nash, and we just adore her, and she
was so fun to work with. Just such a rad person. Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to ask you, and it's when this episode airs, our listeners can actually just go straight to Too Opinionated and listen to The Last Saturday Night. It'll be airing at that time. So if you're listening, don't stop, finish our episode, but then go check out The Last Saturday Night, because it's going to be terrific. It's a kind of true stories about how people are dealing with the pandemic. And I like to say most of them are heartwarming, kind of funny. It's a lot of fun. One of them's based on me. I won't tell you which one.
Is that so?
It is. I work, so my day job is in a hospital. So I sent Jennifer an idea for that, and she wrote it out. So yeah, so that's, I know it's pretty. I got to act in it a little bit.
That's so cool. I mean, I didn't get to read everything. I only got to read like the, Linnell, who was working on it with her, had said, would you want to put some voices down?
Yeah.
For some characters we're looking for. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And so you only get to read the pages, the ones that you're going to audition for.
That's right.
So I'm so intrigued to find out which storyline is yours.
Episode 2 is mine, and it's with an older gentleman that's going to be played by Ed Asner called Gerald. So I'm a little nervous about that because we haven't recorded that one yet.
Oh my God, that's so great.
I know, right? I mean, I'm just some Joe Schmo, and he's a legend, so we'll see how that goes.
Ed Asner, yes.
I'm hoping, since I'm playing myself, I can get through it.
Oh, you're going to be great.
Well, so
you're going to be great.
So I recorded. We did one part of the podcast is us talking with Jennifer's character of Gigi, who is going to be played by Sherilyn Fenn.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, Jennifer's reading it so she can record our part of it. So we're doing a Zoom and we're talking. So it's me and my wife and my son. And we're having a conversation, and she's asking about what happened with this older couple that I told her about, which was what episode 2 is about. So I'm telling her what happened, and I'm supposed to get emotional, and I was struggling with that, just me getting emotional. I couldn't get there, and so she's trying to direct me, and she's doing a great job, but I'm struggling with it. So my wife, I won't tell you what she told me to think of, but she tells me what to think of to get me emotional, and it worked. So I got emotional. Well, 3 or 4 hours later, she comes around. She says, "What's the matter with you?" He said, "You're real quiet, and you look sad." And I was like, I can't get out of it. I'm still sad.
Oh,
yeah. How do you deal with that when you have to, when you get involved in a scene? How do you get out of it?
That is, it's funny. That is one of the things that is hard about what we do. Yeah. Now, I consider myself lucky in that I'm a comedic actress for the most part. So I get to go and be an idiot and a clown and this and that. Occasionally, I've worked on dramas, and that's also a preoccupation of mine. Exactly what you're saying, where you have to get yourself to a certain place that, and that's the thing. It's like whether you're recording booth or you're on a set, like,
right.
It amazes me sometimes, like, how do you guarantee that you could get there in that moment? Like when people are running around you and someone's brushing at your hair and the director's talking about this and they're moving this camera here and going again. Oh, this didn't work. Wait, I got to move the light. It's amazing. Something that and I think my friends who are dramatic actors, there's no science because you don't want to fake anything. So it's like, you want to come from a real place and you have to be able as an actor to just have access to that place in your soul, that memory, that what it is that it rings true for you, or you've created this life around your part that it's so vivid for you. But you have to be able to access that at a moment's notice. And then, how do you shake it off when you
I had to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'd sleep it off.
That's what, you hear about, or those actors that you hear about, they get into trouble, they're playing a part, right? And they get very method and they really live the life and they get messed up.
They get messed up. You do hear about that. It's you're like, what in the world? But I can see it. I can see that.
They can't let it go. You live in that character for 2 months, 4 months, 6 months.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I tell jokes for a living. I'm a joker, so I'm like, mine's a little bit easier.
What drew you to the part for last Saturday night? What made you think, okay, this sounds like something I'd like to do?
Well, they were looking for some various parts, and I saw one that I play an Eastern European gal.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna. Yeah. And I just liked her. There was just something about her that was kind of, I don't know, on the surface it seemed, I don't know. I liked the whole story. I like a story of something that seems like, people meet and maybe it's just going to be a fling, or to me, I was very intrigued by the idea of a vacation, fling that turned into something so much more.
Yeah.
And that is really anyone who's gone off on a vacation or met someone and they have something that's supposed to be just temporary. Really I don't believe that most people want that kind of stuff. I believe that most people, even some guy going out having one night stands, I believe that there's a deeper longing.
Yeah.
You're hoping to bump into that person that could change your life.
You're a romantic.
Yeah. So that story to me, wow, that's really fantastic. And I was also kind of personally I was almost stuck in Prague, just like the storyline. right when COVID hit. Yeah.
Really?
So I also was like, yeah,
Were
because
you
it
filming?
almost happened
Were
to
you
me.
filming in Prague?
No, I was there on vacation.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear it's beautiful.
And yeah, I was hearing about COVID, and
Yeah.
this is gonna make me sound like such a fucking idiot. I just like didn't really like get it. Like,
Yeah.
my mother was, calling me like, you got to get home. It's a pandemic. And I was like, Mom, relax. Like, my flight's next Saturday. I'm not worried. I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
I flew home. I'm like cruising through LAX. No. And then within a week, I'm at home like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Again, listen, here's the theme of my life. This would be my autobiography, Blissfully Ignorant, the Allison Dunbar story. Like, just so
I got a little bit of that. That's not a terrible way to go through life, though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
bad.
it's kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But yeah, so I loved that, and I just loved the whole thing. I then when all of the pieces of the story that I got to read at first, I just thought, oh, I dig this project. Jennifer did such a cool job of. It's funny, but it's real.
Right.
It's like, these are the things that are really happening, and we all know it. I mean, if we didn't have your exact story or her exact story, we had stories like it. I mean, this is something that none of us have been through, and dramatic things are happening in our family units and our friendships and what we thought this would be. I mean, that's why when you said, in West Virginia, you hunkered down for 6 weeks, and I was like, oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we're over 6 months now.
I know.
I'm
can't
like,
even imagine.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I know how to function anymore in a normal life.
Right. I know. It's going to be weird when it opens back up.
How are we not going to be scared? Like, I mean, I live in a pod now.
Yeah.
With my boyfriend and 2 dogs, and that's like my whole life.
Well, don't you think it's going to be weird when you're back on set, and you have to, have close scenes with other actors? I mean, that's going to be weird.
I think we're going to be shitting a brick.
Yeah.
I really do. Too. I mean, it's really scary to think of. My boyfriend just got a job, and he just flew 6 days ago to Toronto to shoot, and they've got him in quarantine. In an apartment, and this is the deal, right? Like, we'll take you to the apartment, and you start your 14-day quarantine, and you cannot go for a walk. You cannot. We will deliver food to your door. Basically, he's in solitary confinement.
Wow.
They bring food to his door and leave. And listen. I mean, look, we recognize, like, it's not a tough life. He's fine. He's about to shoot a movie. I mean, boo hoo hoo. But he's telling me, this feels really weird.
Well,
like,
sure it does.
I'm locked in a room.
That'd be hard for 2 weeks. I mean, just especially in a place that's not your home, it'd be hard.
It's because I keep saying, pretend you're researching a role where you're going to be someone in prison or someone in solitary confinement. But it does bring a whole new truck full of sympathy for people in prison, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, there's been many times where I'm like, what am I? Am I losing my mind?
Yeah.
Am I still a human being? Like, what is this? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. We all do.
Yeah. So it's like, think about being in prison and someone else controlling oof.
That'd be hard.
Rugged.
That'd be hard. So you got to read, I think, with Vincent, right? Vincent.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I love Vincent. Vincent's a friend of ours. He's really good.
We had a great time, and we had to it was ridiculous because I was at home on Zoom. Vincent was in a studio, masked up, and so we're like you and I are right now, where we can see each other, but we're not together, and we're doing these intimate. I mean, we're doing these. I don't want to, blow.
But
all
it was
whatever.
an intimate scene.
was an intimate scene, and I'm on a Zoom.
Well, I
But,
heard,
you know,
I haven't listened to it, but I heard you guys were terrific. Like really, really worked well.
I loved Vincent. I felt, and as bizarre as it sounds, I felt instantly connected with him, even though I'm trying to look at him through a computer camera. I felt really proud of him and really happy with our work because it felt very grounded, felt very real. I'm excited to hear what everybody thinks of it because
it's the new normal.
It felt great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's terrific. Well, Allison, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, you have to come back.
I would love to. Listen, this may come as a shocker, but I'm free all the time.
I'd love to I tell you what I'd love to do is I'd love to have a group of you from Quick Draw on at the same time at some point.
Oh my God. Yeah, in a heartbeat. I'm sure. Did you mention that to John?
Oh yeah, John would do that. He would do that. He's been working on something, so he's been busy. But I'm gonna.
He's shooting something. Yes, I've seen his Instagram posts. He looks strange and like covered up, and
but
strange,
okay,
beautiful person.
I'm sure it's hilarious, and I'm gonna bug him. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I would be so down. I can definitely reach out to Kate Frisbee and maybe to Arden and Nancy. And
I'm following up with you, so don't say it if you don't mean it.
Listen, you know where to find me.
Hey, I saw you on Yellowstone. I saw you on there.
Yeah, that was a hard scene. Yeah, that's true, and that was a hard scene to shoot. Kelly Riley is so talented.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Such a fantastic actress. And I had to play a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And to be able to experience the humanity of that character and work with Kelly, who was like, when I say to you it was hard to do, I mean that in the most positive way. Like it was a hard scene to do because it was so real while we were doing it.
Yeah.
And so I loved it. I loved shooting it, and I loved working with Kelly Riley. She's she's my crush. Like that girl, man.
She's amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah. She's really good. The show's really good. You can't beat Kevin Costner. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Can't beat Kevin Costner.
Can't beat Kevin. Come on. Well, Allison, thank you. This is, oh my gosh, this has been the best. I've been looking forward to this for a week.
Me
great.
Too.
No, you haven't.
I have. I was so excited. That's why I laughed when you sent me a confirmation email. I was like, what is this guy fucking I'm doing? I'm so excited to do this. I know. It's in my calendar. Yeah. Thank you for having me. And anytime, just, hunt me down and I'll be here.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to listening to you on the last Saturday night. And before you go, where can our listeners find you if they're wanting to keep up with what you're doing?
Oh, I would probably go to my Instagram. I feel I'm pretty, my Instagram handle is just Allison Dunbar. So I'm usually on there talking about what I'm working on and personal stuff, and you'll see lots of dogs, and you'll see Ron and just all sorts of fun shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You do have a lot of pictures of you and Ron, so that's cool. We're big fans of Ron's.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that when you said your thing with comic books. He's away for now, but I can maybe try and wrangle him for you.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to. He was going to be at a show because what we cover shows kind of like press, and like conventions. And he was going to be at one, and we were just dying to meet him. And this stuff hit, and they canceled everything. So we were so disappointed. But yeah, he's definitely on our bucket list. But I wasn't going to bring it up. But since you brought it up,
if you want to contact me after we hang up, because like I told you, he's got 8 more days of quarantine.
Yeah.
Like there's no better time.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Of course.
Big fans of Ron.
Yeah.
John's the best. He was the best Hellboy too. Just so you know.
Send me an email, and I'm sure he'd love to talk to you about
that'd be
Hellboy
great.
and whatnot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's done a lot of comic book stuff, so it'll be a nerdy time.
No problem. We'll do it.
Well, so anything that you have upcoming that we can keep an eye out for?
Oh my gosh, what is upcoming? Well, God, I have a movie coming out, Film Fest. I think, the release of it got kind of screwed up because of COVID. I think it's going to be coming out. We don't have our date yet but it's called Film Fest, and it's directed by Marshall Cook. And it's supposed to be sometime this fall. It's going to be released. So,
all right, we'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I hope it comes out. We're struggling for stuff to watch. We need stuff coming out.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out. I don't know. It's like now it's weird with when you have something that's supposed to have a theatrical release.
Yeah.
Figuring out which streaming platform to put it. It changes everything. So I'm not exactly like, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's a weird.
It's a weird world.
All right, my dear.
Thank you, Allison.
I'll talk to you again soon.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night? It's a new scripted podcast series that starts right at the beginning of lockdown, when a single mother and out-of-work writer named Gigi realizes that everything is about to change.
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
The Last Saturday Night, an ElectraCast podcast. You'll love it.
Episodes available June 28th. Wherever you listen to podcasts.
ElectraCast.
Well, that was Allison Dunbar. Absolutely the best. Really, really enjoyed that. And she's so talented and so nice. That was better than I could have imagined. She was wonderful. So really appreciate talking with her. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go and check out The Last Saturday Night. It's something that we're so proud of. It's got an amazing cast. You just won't believe this cast. So please go and check that out. Check us out on our website, meistercon.com, or on Facebook under MeisterCon. If you want to help us out, if you want to donate, we're building our new studio, so we could really use your help. You can go to patreon.com/MeisterCon. So thank you, everybody. This has been a blast, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye, everybody.
Ever thought about starting your own podcast?
Do you have a business or a message you want to share with the world?
Well, now it's easier than ever with ElectraCast. Hi, I'm Mark Netter.
And I'm Peter Rafelson. We're the founders of ElectraCast Media.
Whether you want to start a new podcast or already have one, join ElectraCast to grow your audience, monetize your content, and build your community.
With our simple sign-up, you get free promotion, world-class analytics, premium ads, and personal support.
Go to ElectraCast.com and join our community today.
ElectraCast. Transform your influence.
ElectraCast. Hey guys, it's Miriam Love here, and I want to share something very special with you. Check out my new release, All In, the Spanish remixes, out now on ElectraCast Records. And always remember, be love, share love, all love.
Available now wherever you listen to music.
ElectraCast.